When a man feels real love, something inside him begins to shift in a way he cannot ignore. It feels like an awakening that touches both the part of him he understands and the part he rarely notices. Love stops being a simple emotion and slowly becomes a reflection of who he truly is. It is no longer only about liking someone deeply. It turns into a mirror that reveals the harmony or imbalance within his own soul. When he meets someone who aligns with his inner truth, the line between what he feels inside and what he sees outside begins to blur. It is as if a forgotten song starts playing again, reminding him of who he really is beneath all the noise, pressure, and layers of ego. He feels both vulnerable and complete at the same time, gentle yet strong, open yet grounded. This kind of connection is not about two people trying to complete one another. It is about recognizing a part of oneself in another person. He experiences a strange familiarity not because of shared history, but because something about this bond echoes the hidden corners of his being. That type of love invites him into a journey of discovering himself with honesty. He begins to notice the subtle movement between his inner world and the world around him. The emotions he feels are not random. They carry meaning. They symbolize the quiet conversation taking place between his conscious mind and the deeper forces shaping his life. When he loves sincerely, he does not lose himself in the relationship like many do when driven by desire, fear of loneliness, or the need to feel needed. Instead, he discovers a more authentic version of himself through this connection. The bond becomes a sacred mirror that reflects both his strengths and his wounds. Every warm moment, every conflict, and every silent pause turns into a lesson in awareness. He learns that real love is not about escaping his own truth, but about bringing that truth into harmony with the presence of someone who matters. In genuine love, he is not ruled by attraction or blinded by fantasy. His affection rises from a deeper recognition, an understanding that love in its purest form is an expression of truth. This truth does not demand perfection. It welcomes wholeness. It accepts that love can be soft and intense, healing and honest, revealing and comforting. He understands that loving someone sincerely means standing before them without pretending, allowing his heart to be seen without tricks or emotional masks. In that openness, he finds a rare kind of strength because love rooted in authenticity cannot be broken by ego, fear, or pride. It does not rely on perfect conditions. It is born from the connection of two souls seeing each other beyond appearances and beyond the surface of daily life. As he deepens into this experience, he becomes aware of how much this love is reshaping him. His inner world begins to align with something greater than old desires or habits. He stops chasing validation through achievements or approval. He starts seeking connection through honesty. The woman he loves becomes a reflection of his growth and transformation. He does not love her to escape loneliness or fill emptiness. He loves her because her presence resonates with the deepest place within him that longs for balance, unity, and purpose. In her, he sees a living expression of something his soul has always wanted to reveal. This is why when a man feels true love, his energy softens, his attention deepens, and his behavior becomes steadier. He no longer feels restless because the chase for external satisfaction transforms into a journey of inner clarity. Real love becomes a spiritual alignment, not ownership. It teaches him that loving honestly means accepting life as it is, without exaggeration or denial. It draws him closer to reality and truth, asking him to be both humble and courageous. Through this love, he learns that the deepest connection he can have with another begins with the connection he has with himself. It becomes the harmony between his inner and outer worlds, the balance between emotion and understanding, intensity and calm. Love in its truest form stops being a desire to control and becomes an invitation to awaken. When a man experiences real love, He realizes that true strength is not shown by hiding emotions, but by allowing himself to feel them openly. Vulnerability becomes the bridge between his heart and his soul, between the version he shows the world and the version he keeps within. In a world that often teaches men to silence emotions and appear unshaken, genuine love gently removes those heavy layers of protection. It encourages him to lower his guard and let someone see the parts he once concealed, trusting he will still be accepted. This process is both frightening and freeing. It forces him to release control, abandon the illusion of invincibility, and face fears of rejection or not being enough. Yet by embracing vulnerability, he discovers a deeper form of courage, the courage to be real. When he opens his heart, he reveals layers of humanity once hidden behind silence, logic, or pride. He allows his partner to see his doubts, worries, and quiet pain. This honesty becomes a sacred offering, showing he trusts her enough to be fully seen. In these moments, his words carry sincerity not meant to impress, but to connect. He admits fear, speaks when hurt, and expresses gratitude when understood. There is a calm strength in this honesty, far greater than dominance or emotional distance. He realizes vulnerability does not weaken him. It humanizes him, and his humanity becomes the foundation of lasting love. Through vulnerability, intimacy changes. Emotional closeness no longer feels risky but safe. The walls he built slowly dissolve, not because love blinds him, but because it gives him the courage to see clearly. He finds beauty in openness. He listens with empathy instead of defense. He speaks with presence instead of performance. He feels with awareness instead of fear. His emotional life becomes fuller and more awake. In that openness, his partner feels like a companion, not a threat. The more he opens, the stronger the bond grows because love thrives, where truth exists without fear. This transformation is not always easy. There are moments when old habits tempt him to retreat and hide feelings again. He feels the urge to protect himself from discomfort. But each time he chooses honesty over withdrawal, he grows stronger. Emotional openness becomes a quiet rebellion against limiting ideas of masculinity. He learns vulnerability is not losing power but releasing pretense. It is where love becomes sacred, where two souls connect without ego blocking the way. As he embraces this depth, love stops feeling like a struggle for control. It becomes a space of mutual healing. His vulnerability invites hers, creating a bond built on truth rather than illusion. He understands real closeness grows from shared honesty, not perfection. When a man feels real love, his greatest strength is not how much he carries alone, but how deeply he connects while staying true to himself. His heart remains open, protected by sincere intention. In that balance, he finds a peace only genuine love can offer. When a man feels true love, his understanding of connection shifts from possession to growth. He no longer seeks to control the woman he loves. He chooses to evolve alongside her. Love becomes an awakening for both, not a competition or a way to fill emptiness. It is not about holding tightly out of fear, but about allowing space while choosing connection. In this love, affection is not driven by insecurity or dominance, but by respect and admiration. He values her individuality and sees it as precious. He understands her independence is not a threat to his masculinity, but a reflection of her strength and beauty. He wants to enter her world, not limit it. His heart expands as he realizes real love does not demand possession. It encourages growth. Loving honestly, he views the relationship as a space where both souls rise. He does not try to shape her into perfection, having learned to love without forcing expectations. Every shared moment becomes an opportunity to understand more deeply, listen more fully, and grow in awareness together. His love slowly shifts from attachment to understanding. He starts to notice the subtle details, the quiet gestures, the sincere conversations, and the way growth sometimes requires space rather than constant closeness. He values balance, knowing that love flourishes through harmony instead of control. Through her, he learns the value of patience, realizing that love must breathe if it is meant to remain alive. Such a man does not confuse possession with protection. He does not see her freedom as something dangerous, but as a natural extension of love itself. His desire is not to restrain her, but to walk beside her as an equal, allowing both of their spirits to expand and unfold in their own rhythm. When she succeeds, he feels happiness instead of fear. When she changes, he seeks understanding rather than resistance. His love is not dependent on her fitting an ideal image he once imagined. It grows through her honesty, through the truth of who she truly is. He understands that love is not a cage for another soul, but a reflection of his own depth and emotional maturity. By supporting her independence, he also honors his own values. Real love is built on shared respect and mutual trust. This kind of love also transforms how he sees himself. He begins to realize that true connection requires emotional growth and awareness of his inner world. The more he grows within, the more capable he becomes of giving without fear and receiving without guilt. He learns that love is not about filling an inner emptiness, but about sharing what is already whole inside. His affection flows naturally because it is not mixed with ego or the desire to dominate. He finds joy in watching her shine, knowing her light does not diminish his own. Their relationship becomes a dance of two individuals who choose each other, not from dependence, but because they are aligned in spirit and intention. In this open space, love becomes a force that lifts them higher. They inspire one another to rise beyond limits, fears, and self-doubt. They become mirrors for each other, reflecting both beauty and lessons. He understands that love is not about standing above someone. It is about holding hands and moving together through life's uncertainties. His care becomes gentle yet steady. His passion remains warm without being overwhelming. His loyalty reveals itself through granting freedom, not taking it away. This is the kind of love that not only reshapes relationships, but changes the very nature of who a man becomes. He learns that the purpose of loving someone is not to possess their heart, but to expand his own. Through her presence, he realizes again that true love is not about keeping someone fixed in place. It is about growing, balancing, and evolving together as two souls walking honestly. When a man feels genuine love, there is a quiet recognition that goes beyond physical attraction, beyond logic, and beyond time. It is as if his soul remembers something his mind cannot explain. When he looks into the eyes of the woman he loves, there is a moment of stillness, a deep awareness that he has met someone who reflects the core of who he is. This recognition does not come from analysis. It comes from an inner knowing, an intuitive sense that this connection is rare. He feels peace in her presence, a calm that speaks louder than words. It is not the rush of infatuation or desire, but a gentle sense of belonging, as though his heart has found a place where it no longer needs to hide. In that still moment, he feels familiarity, as if they have known each other beyond memory, as if their souls have crossed paths before. This recognition does not need justification. It is not about appearance, status, or reason. It is a spiritual alignment felt deeply within. He does not seek constant reassurance because the connection itself feels undeniable. There is an unseen thread that binds their energies, drawing him closer not from need but from resonance. He feels understood by her even in silence. Her presence alone brings clarity to his thoughts and direction to his purpose. When she speaks, her words often echo feelings he has not yet expressed. When she is quiet, her silence feels complete rather than empty. It is as if their communication exists beyond language, carried by intuition and energy. He feels truly seen, not for who he pretends to be, but for who he is beneath everything. This connection awakens devotion within him. He becomes more present, more mindful, and more careful with his emotions. He does not feel the need to chase or prove himself. Instead, he nurtures the bond through steady effort and sincere attention. It is not about grand gestures, but about quiet consistency. How he listens, how he protects her peace, and how he shows up without being asked. Each small action reflects a deeper truth he carries inside. When he holds her, it is not only physical, but emotional and spiritual, a sense of safety and recognition that settles deeply within. He understands that love shows itself in the everyday moments, in shared silence, in laughter, and in mutual respect. Over time, his understanding deepens even further. He realizes that love is not meant to complete him, but to accompany him. He learns to stand firmly in who he is, knowing that partnership thrives when both individuals remain grounded in themselves. His confidence grows not from control, but from trust. He allows vulnerability to exist without fear of weakness. In loving her freely, he learns to love himself with greater honesty. The bond they share becomes a place of learning, healing, and mutual encouragement. Together they face challenges with openness instead of blame. They listen more than they defend. They choose growth over comfort and truth over illusion. In this shared journey, love becomes a steady presence rather than a fleeting emotion. It is expressed through patience, understanding, and commitment. He knows that love is not proven by intensity alone, but by consistency over time. With her, he experiences a love that feels both grounding and expansive. It anchors him while allowing him to grow. This is a love that respects individuality while honoring unity. It is not loud, yet it is powerful. Not restrictive, yet deeply connected. In this space, he finds clarity about what truly matters. Love becomes less about desire and more about devotion, less about expectation and more about acceptance. Through this understanding, he steps into a version of himself that is calmer, wiser, and more emotionally aware. Loving her does not limit him. It refines him. It teaches him that the deepest love is one that remains steady, open, and true, even as both souls continue to evolve together. He comes to see that love is a living process shaped by time, effort, and shared intention. It does not demand perfection, only presence. He accepts that misunderstandings may arise, yet chooses communication over distance. In moments of uncertainty, he returns to patience rather than reaction. He understands that love deepens when both people feel safe to be authentic. This safety allows honesty to replace fear. It allows truth to be spoken without threat. He no longer seeks to win arguments, but to preserve connection. In this mindset, love becomes an active choice made daily. It is expressed through kindness, respect, and accountability. He grows comfortable with silence, knowing that closeness does not always require words. He appreciates the simple moments that others might overlook. Over time, this love reshapes his priorities and softens his edges. He becomes more aware of his actions and their impact. Loving her teaches him responsibility, empathy, and grace. In choosing this kind of love, he chooses growth. He chooses depth over surface, meaning over impulse, and connection over control. This understanding settles within him quietly, forming the foundation of a love that is enduring, sincere, and real. It remains true, always. He understands that love cannot be forced or controlled. It must be cared for with trust and belief. He lets go of the idea that love must always feel perfect. Knowing that its true power is formed by growing through imperfections, the relationship becomes a living space where both souls can evolve, stumble and rise, hurt and heal, and transform together. He begins to see love not as something he owns, but as a path toward inner awareness. Every experience of love, even the painful ones, becomes a lesson guiding him toward a better version of himself. Through this inner shift, his love deepens from a simple feeling into devotion. He grows calmer, wiser, and more grounded. He no longer runs from vulnerability because he understands that vulnerability leads to truth. His affection expands not through grand gestures, but through steady presence and quiet faithfulness. He realizes that real love is not something he gives or takes. It is something he becomes through loving her. He becomes more human, more compassionate, and more awake. The man who once searched for validation from the world now finds purpose in simply being authentic. Love turns him inside out, removing illusions and revealing his core. In that transformation, he learns that to love sincerely is to grow endlessly toward understanding, balance, and inner peace. When a man experiences real love, he begins to recognize the sacred responsibility that comes with it. Love becomes more than a passing emotion or brief spark. It becomes a conscious commitment to protect, uplift, and support the woman he loves without trying to control her. He feels a deep sense of responsibility, not from duty, but from respect for the bond they share. This devotion gives weight to his actions. His words carry truth. His presence offers comfort, and his loyalty remains quiet yet firm. When he loves honestly, he no longer moves through life without care. Every choice he makes considers her peace, her growth, and her emotional well-being. He knows that real love is not about the excitement of beginnings, but the endurance of the soul. It is the calm decision to stay, to show up, to remain steady in a world that constantly changes. This love reshapes his view of commitment. It is no longer about possession or routine. It becomes a sacred promise formed within his heart. He understands that love demands patience, effort, and empathy. He learns to stay present not only in happiness, but in discomfort, not only in passion, but in silence. He does not disappear when challenges arise because his love is not built on convenience. It is rooted in purpose. He is not loyal because he fears losing her. He is loyal because he honors the truth of what they share. Through this devotion, he becomes emotionally stable, dependable, and grounded. His actions align with his feelings, and his consistency speaks louder than words. His love becomes the kind that heals rather than confuses, calms rather than disrupts. When he loves genuinely, he also learns balance, the gentle art of giving without losing himself. He does not abandon who he is for love, nor does he expect her to do so. He understands that love must grow alongside individuality. He supports her dreams as strongly as his own, creating a space where both can rise. His love becomes an environment of shared growth, not dependency. He learns that strength in love is not about control, but about steadiness. The strength to stay kind when anger appears, to listen when pride urges him to argue, to remain gentle even when life feels heavy. His love deepens from passion into purpose, from desire into meaning. This sincere love also reshapes how he views masculinity. He no longer feels the need to prove his worth through dominance or possessions. Instead, he finds meaning in his ability to love deeply, protect sincerely, and act with integrity. His emotional maturity becomes evidence of his inner growth. Love becomes the path through which he understands the balance between strength and softness, thought and emotion, movement and stillness. Through this, he becomes not only a lover, but a partner, a guide, and a place of emotional safety. A man who feels real love does not simply speak the words. He demonstrates it in quiet moments through patience and in the way he remains present even when life feels uncertain. His love does not fade with time because it is not built on illusion. It is built on soul. He stands beside her, not to lead or follow, but to walk with her through life's changing seasons. His devotion becomes timeless, a calm promise to choose her again and again, not because he must, but because his heart knows no truth more real. When a man feels deep and honest love, his entire being rises into something more peaceful, steady, and meaningful. It is not a love that burns quickly and vanishes. It is a love that shapes him slowly, refining him over time. Through this love, he learns that it is not a conquest or a fleeting emotion. It is a spiritual mirror revealing who he truly is. He discovers that loving sincerely means growing, facing himself honestly, and moving beyond ego. Love teaches him patience, truth, and balance. It humbles his pride while strengthening his spirit. It shows him that real strength is not about never being shaken, but about being brave enough to stay open when closing off feels easier. In this depth of feeling, he finds inner peace. He stops seeking admiration for what he can control and instead finds meaning in what he can nurture and understand. The woman he loves becomes both mirror and guide, teaching him love not through ownership, but through presence. Through her, he learns kindness. Through her, he learns calm. Through her, he understands that the strongest love is the one that frees, not confines. He realizes that true love does not demand perfection. It invites two imperfect souls to grow together, side by side, learning, forgiving, becoming. Authentic love becomes his awakening. It turns silence into meaning, fear into insight, and passion into purpose. It grounds him in humility while lifting him beyond his limits. He understands that love is not an escape from reality, but the deepest way to meet it. In the end, love is not about finding someone to complete him. It is about recognizing the reflection that guides him toward completeness within himself. When a man feels real love, he does not only feel emotion, he experiences growth. It is the meeting of two souls reminding each other who they were always meant to be. Through that sacred recognition, he learns that love is not only what joins two hearts, it is what awakens the soul to its highest truth. He comes to understand that real love is also a teacher of patience, not the kind that tests endurance through struggle, but the kind that allows time for reflection, for moments to settle, and for understanding to deepen without force. He sees that love is less about the grand gestures that impress the world, and more about the subtle consistency that nurtures the soul. A gentle word at the right moment, a shared silence that needs no explanation, a touch that reassures without demand. Each action, however small, carries the weight of intention, and in that intentionality, the relationship grows beyond what either could have imagined alone. He realizes that love asks him to honor not only her journey but also his own. There is no shame in admitting mistakes, no weakness in asking for help, and no fear in letting his heart feel the fullness of joy, grief, and everything in between. Love becomes a mirror not just of his inner self, but of the life he wishes to live, authentic, connected, mindful, and courageous. He begins to notice the interplay between silence and speech, between presence and absence, and understands that every moment of attention, every gesture of care, is a seed planted in the soil of their shared life. As he continues in this love, he discovers that it also teaches humility. It reminds him that the world does not revolve around him, that beauty often lives in simplicity, and that true intimacy is found in surrendering the need to always be right or in control. In these lessons, he finds freedom. Freedom from the fear of inadequacy, freedom from the illusions of grandeur, freedom from the compulsion to perform love rather than live it. He learns that the heart expands not through possession, but through understanding, and that the deeper the connection, the more room there is for grace, forgiveness, and renewal. He becomes increasingly aware that love is a lifelong practice rather than a destination. It is a rhythm of giving and receiving, of holding and letting go, of challenging and nurturing. Every day, it asks him to show up fully, to listen without judgment, to honor both his truth and hers. He sees that growth often comes in quiet, unremarkable moments, and that the depth of love is measured not by intensity, but by resilience, empathy, and sustained care. In this he finds a serenity that cannot be shaken by circumstance, a steadfastness born of commitment, not to perfection, but to presence. Ultimately, he understands that real love does not end, it evolves. It transforms him into a man capable of deeper empathy, greater honesty, and unwavering integrity. It teaches him that vulnerability is strength, that devotion is freedom, and that connection is sacred. He carries the lessons of love into every aspect of his life, from friendships to work, from fleeting encounters to the quiet corners of his own mind. Love becomes not a chapter, but a lens through which he perceives the world, compassionate, patient, aware, and grounded. And in this awareness, he remembers one essential truth. Love is not about finding someone who completes you, nor is it about escaping loneliness. It is about awakening fully to life, embracing your own soul, and offering that awakened self to another who chooses to meet you there. It is a shared journey of honesty, growth, and respect. Let this be a reminder. Real love does not demand perfection, control, or certainty. It asks only for presence, sincerity, and the courage to be fully yourself. Through that, two souls can walk together not as halves seeking completion, but as whole beings choosing to rise, expand, and awaken in each other's light.